possible not to go off again. Now, Moses Agbukor, you were talking about the impact of your ministry's projects on Edo people. Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, the most beneficiaries of the program and the projects executed so far are the rural populace, the people who on their own cannot afford private boreholes. Now, one good thing about the kind of projects Mr. Governor directed us we must execute is this.
Yeah.
Ownership. These projects are ownership driven. And what we mean by that is that in each of these rural communities, we have what we call WASHCOM, Water Sanitation Committee. Okay. We also have, what we mean by that is that the community select persons, individuals that are trained on how to operate those boreholes on their own, and they are empowered to collect stipends for the running of for buying diesel for the generator, so that sustainability becomes the order of the project. Okay. Gone are the days where you just dig a borehole because everybody thinks it's government's property, nobody cares about it. But with this WASHCOM, the rural people on their own are able to generate little revenues at their own level with which to maintain these things. So any community where we are able to establish these functional borehole and sanitation facilities, they are doing very well. Every day I'm inundated with letters of appreciation to Mr. Governor for what he has done for us. And for me, the biggest of all this project is the Urumi Ugboka water scheme. The reason is that it is a star project. And like I told you, a lot of private investors are already contacting us. Last week I just did a memo to Mr. Governor asking to give us the go-ahead to engage these people further with the PPA office, such that they have also discovered some other water schemes they want to invest into, so that these people, they can run it for some time before handing over to government. So, you know, water is life.
Water is life.
Wherever where we have water, the people appreciate it so much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Moses Agbukor is the Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources. When we come back, we are going to be taking a look again with more emphasis on the reticulation in Edo Central and, of course, Edo North. Please stay with us.
For decades, the Esan people of Edo State groaned under the deleterious effects of the lack of potable water in their homes. Several governments came with promises but left them with nothing. It appeared to be a problem that was impossible to fix, a challenge impossible to surmount. But not for Godwin Obaseki. In March 2019, the Edo State Governor flagged off the 9 million liters per day capacity Urumi Ugboha water reticulation project in Esan Northeast local government area, which will provide water for over 500,000 people. Today, the story has changed for Esan people, as the Obaseki-led government has provided potable water for their homes and communities. That is why he remains one of the best governors in the history of Edo State. He always puts Edo people first. Let us return him as our governor come September 19, 2020. Vote for Godwin Obaseki and Philip Shaibu. Vote PDP.
You're welcome back to the program. Now, Moses Agbukor, a lot of people complain about the seeming inactivity of the water boards. What does this seem like? You know, they are unproductive, and meanwhile, these are government assets.
Okay. Well, like I told you earlier on this program, that emphasis in this administration initially is laid on the rural populace. In Benin, you can agree with me that there's virtually every home have access to private boreholes. Though we know that that is not too good for the community or the town.
Yes.
But however, we have to think of priorities. Now, the water board, as it is, I agree with you, is moribund today, because over the years there have been no adequate plans put in place to sustain them. The construction work of the last administration in most of the urban towns actually had an adverse effect on our water corporations, on our water boards facilities. If you go to Iyaru, the Iyaru road, the construction of that road resulted in the excavation of a lot of pipes that were already on the ground, and no plan was made to rehabilitate them. So those are some of the things that affected and made these things to become moribund. Now, I want to inform you that Mr. Governor, in his wisdom, there is a law now that has established what we call Edo State Water Corporation. So we are in the process of staffing that corporation now. The water board will be off it completely. The staff, some of them will be integrated into the new water corporation, where others will be distributed to or deployed to other line ministries and agencies. So those are some of the problems, and these are the things Mr. Governor do not want to repeat itself again with the water corporation that we are setting up. And to do that, it simply means that we must put certain institutions in place that will ensure that these water schemes are able to sustain themselves over years. And that is why I want to inform you that for the Urumiboga, we have taken delivery of 5,000 prepaid meters for this water. They're already with us in Government House here. Okay. The whole idea is that everybody, after we have public taps for those who cannot afford those private, having private tap into their own houses. Yes. We have a public taps for them. We have kiosks. They can still go there. Water tank can go and still buy those things from them. But for those who can afford it, we'll connect water to your house just like you have your electricity. And the issue of, but we're not going to have problem like we have with electricity, because this one, once your card is off, it cuts off water, stops supplying to your house until you go and recharge again. So those are the things that have been put in place to ensure that moving forward, the moribund nature we experience with water board will no longer happen to, will not happen to water corporation. I can assure you that.
Talking about the prepaid meters,
yeah.
How are you going to be able to control some members of the communities who may want to do bypass, like they do for the, the meters giving us the electricity?
And that is why the way this reticulation is so designed, the meter will not be in your house. It will be in the public place close to your house with what do you call it, cage and what have you. That before you go there to destroy it, there will be an alarm that will be raised by the people around that place.
So all the meters are going to be in one place, or you are going to have designated areas?
Designated areas close to your house. But you are going to have what you call it, there's a vending office, of course, where you get all your cards and things like that. You can load your cards from your phone to that meter. But it's not something you go there yourself to go and tamper with. If you do that, it will just knock you out completely. So we have taken this into consideration, and that to a large extent, the issue of bypassing will be greatly minimized. Members
of the communities, are they aware that these are the rules and regulations guiding this water that you are providing for them?
Yes,
because these are some clauses that they need to know. Yes, that they need to know.
Yeah. What we did was, we did enumeration of the area. That's how we came up with 5,000 first phase of the prepaid meters. Okay. We did enumerations of the area, told them, get them from. As I speak to you, people are clamoring for it now, but we are simply saying no. We want to dot all the I's and cross all the T's before we release the meter. It's not just to collect your money to you. Okay. We want to put everything in place to ensure that the benefit of the scheme will be achieved. That is why we have not released it to them yet. Okay.
Well, if you want to be part of this program, you could either call us or send us an SMS or a WhatsApp on our telephone number 0905-170-2571, 0905-170-2571. SMS, WhatsApp, or direct call. Now, what is the role of the Niger Delta support program in these ongoing water projects?
Thank you very much. Naturally, the Niger Delta support program is an UNICEF program. They go around, because of the restive nature of the Niger Delta some years back. Yes. In order to rehabilitate the area, the UNICEF felt that they should find a way to intervene. And, like those donor agencies, they will never intervene until they see your commitment. If you don't pay the commitment fee, which is the counterpart fund, they will not give you anything. And I'm glad to say that Edo State was the first by this administration to pay the counterpart fund to UNICEF before all the other states started joining. So UNICEF, and one good thing about it, and I think that is what actually excited.
Which means without the counterpart funds, you cannot access the money.
Not even 100 naira. Not even 100 naira. Because the problem will not even start. Nobody will give you 1 naira until you get that. And this is the good thing about it. For instance, in the Uromi scheme.
Yeah.
In the Uromi scheme, where the EU brought about 700 million, the state brought about 300 million. The money was not transferred to the state government account. The money was not brought to the ministry. The money was kept in the Federal Ministry of Budget. What happens is that by the time they do a certain extent of job, and the engineer satisfied that they have done that job, the document is sent to them, and they pay there, not even from the state. But there is no way that money can be made available to Edo State if the counterpart, the 30%, is not. There's no evidence to show that the money is already with the ministry. And also, guess what? The contracting is not done by the ministry. The contracting is done by the EU and their Nigerian representative. So our job naturally is to supervise the job and ensure that, because our people are going to be the beneficiary of the job, we are going to insist that the BOQ must be followed, and is followed to the letter.
Now, wait a minute. You, as the Commissioner for Water Resources, you do not have access to that money?
No.
And the sitting governor does not have access to the money?
At all, absolutely no. He does not. It's only he has provided the 300,000. Now, what happened that the 300 million which he processed was directed at the purchasing or the supply of the prepaid meters. So everything that has to do with the reticulation, everything that has to do with all those other things were handled by the EU purely. Even those who supplied the prepaid meters, even though the government is the one paying, was sourced by EU. Not by the ministry, not by the state government at all. Our own is to ensure that since our people are going to benefit from this thing, we'll put our eyes down and ensure that the right thing is done.
Because the EU is also protecting their investments.
Yes, but we are the beneficiaries. So if we keep quiet and we don't, in fact, in my first inspection tour of that area, I had to force them to remove some pipe from the ground when I discovered that they didn't go to the depth they were supposed to go in burying the pipes. And some of them were just doing very tiny. No. I said, this is not what is in the BOQ. I called the engineer and said, how can you be here and you're allowed to do this thing? No, we will not accept this. And before myself and PS were left there, they removed those things, they covered it, they started digging fresh lines.
Now, this money from the EU, is there any time limit? Of that course. At the end of social period, the money is either maybe exhausted or if it's not exhausted, would they take it back?
Yes, this is what happens. Right now as we speak, EU, they have completed their business in Edo State. And in fact, even in SASAT, as at December last year. But because of the nature of what they have to extend it to March before the coronavirus. Now, you know when they give you the contract is time bound.
Yeah.
If you cannot execute the project within that time frame, then it's either they revoke the contract. They will revoke the contract if you cannot meet up with that time, except they discover that there's a reason which is beyond the contractor's control. Then they could say, okay, let them extend. Because they don't deal only with Nigeria as a country. It's a global organization. So they have a time frame for everything they do.
So if at the end of that time frame,
yes,
the money is not fully exhausted.
No, take it back.
And what if before the time frame, the money is exhausted? Would they give you more?
No, this is what they do. When they say that they are giving you 100 million,
yes,
they have done their homework. First and foremost, they will ask you for assessment. Okay, where are the areas you have their need of water supply? You give them options. They will send their team of consultants. Okay. If it is too much for what they have to handle, they will tell you that what they have for you cannot handle this. Give us another option. Then until you bring something that's within, by their own calculation, is within the scope of what they have for you. Yeah. Like I told you, they source the contractors themselves. The state, at best, what the state does is to look at them and observe that transparency is followed, due process is followed. But they have no direct control over the matter. So if they give you money, for instance, maybe only to run that place, and within a period, yes, every kobo is accounted for. And it's the best. And let me also inform you, like UNICEF, yes, they don't mobilize you before you go to work. Oh. Hmm? They don't mobilize you before you go to do your work. They don't mobilize you like the normal arrangement. They give you 30% to start the work. You do no. So UNICEF, you will never get 1 naira. You will go and source for money, use your money until they verify that the job is up standard before they pay you.
So you have no option?
No, you have no option. So the whole idea that you give somebody money, person ran away with the money, does not even arise. If he runs away, he has run away with his own his own problem.
Okay. Now let's come back to this ongoing water reticulation in Edo Central and Edo North. Yes. You know, I know that this is a kind of network or a pattern whereby you lay pipes and all that. Yes. Now, could you just let us know what is really involved, the process of this reticulation? Okay.
Now, this is the way it is. I told you that the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, through the Benin River Basin, reactivated the Agbukor water scheme. Yes. What I mean by that is that they were able to fix some of the machinery at the overhead, the headworks. There you have the generator, you have the water treatment. That's one fantastic thing about that thing. That's why it excites me. The water that comes from Uromi is the purest, is of the purest quality because of the process it goes through. Then it gets to the booster station before it is released to other overhead reservoirs. Now, that ends it. And the question is, how does people benefit from this? They don't. Now, no NEPA to pump this. The thing was just like that. But thank God to the visionary governor we have, who capitalized on the fact that these things were reactivated. And like I said, 80-kilometer reticulation network. Uromi today, as it is divided to 3 zones. Zone A, Zone B, Zone C. You understand? And these zones are handled independently by professionals, contractors. Now, because you have 3 overhead reservoirs in that area, so the water now is now brought down now. It's no longer reserved for unknown persons. The water is now brought down now to the actual beneficiaries. So you have the main lines along the main road, like the Nova Road, Late Nanini's road, the Nova Road, then the Ago 90. So you have reticulation along the main lines. Yep. Then you have sub-main streets now. That is where we have now. Then we have what we call public taps. Because we also know that it's not everybody that can afford private meters in their private homes for now. So what we have also done is to have public taps in designated locations. We also have water kiosk. The water kiosk, with time, we are going to people are going to manage them. They will have a bulk meter, you know. So if you cannot have water into your house, at least you have your jerrycan now. But the difference, instead of waiting for a tanker to bring water that is not pure to your house, you take your jerrycans to the nearest public tap or the nearest kiosk and get your water and
free.
Take. For now, I think so, but it's not going to be free eventually.
Even with a jerrycan?
It's not going to be free. No, because that's the truth. This government does not pride itself in deceiving the populace, but it's going to be far, far cheaper than the pure water they get from the water tanker. So that they can still get something which they can run the system. But eventually, I want to also tell you, it's going to be a PPP arrangement. Okay. It's going to be an Uromi Agbukor business unit. And as a matter of fact, a consultant has been contracted who is doing that now. We are setting up the business unit now. Maybe before the end of September, it will come off screen, because this water project will be commissioned in another 1 week or 2.
And who controls the price?
Yes, for now, the ministry is the supervising ministry. But Mr. Governor has charged us we must go and work out the calculation to the barest minimum. Like I said now, eventually it's going to be cheaper than the water they buy from the daily water tankers.
Okay. Now, are there any urban water projects? If not, what are the plans for this?
Yes, eventually. Like I told you that you look at St. Saviour. In St. Saviour, there's a water scheme in St. Saviour, Opasakoba, that's St. Saviour area, and Erie. An investor came to us with a proposal that he wants to take up the scheme, fix it up, do further reticulation, and based on agreement, maybe over a period of time, recover his money and hand it over back to the state government. But this is what we are still discussing. We want to see how it will be beneficial to the people. If the project is not going to, if it's the one that's going to extort the people, the government will not take it. But if eventually it's something that is going to be of utmost benefit to the people, then it will be a go. So that's for that. So there are so many schemes like that that are on the pipeline that eventually we just want, once the Uromugboka succeeds, we know that we'll just replicate that same policy, that same model, that prototype to all the other water schemes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Honorable Moses Agbukor is Commissioner for Water Resources, but we'll come back. We are going to be exploring the waterways. Stay with us.
This another comprehensive project by the Obaseki-led government. It started in June, and 1st of June to be precise, 2018. The entire project covers about 70 hectares. At the moment, 3 hectares have been built upon with about 68 houses already sold out, and a comprehensive road network divided into 2 parts: the service lanes and the dual carriageway that runs across the entire prospect. This is phase 1, about 3 hectares. The phase 2 is on the other side, about 3 hectares as well. Everything here is 6 hectares. So we have balance of 64 hectares to go. One of the houses has 2 apartments, 3 bedrooms each, which we refer to as the twin apartments. And there are 8 buildings of such. In a few days' time, the second phase will commence in earnest. The road project, as I said, is ongoing, and you can see the machines working in earnest. I wish to also say that this project has given a lot of jobs to many Edo citizens, both the skilled and unskilled workers.
My name is Obi Choma. I've been working here in this Immortal Garden Estate past 2 years and now. Ever since I've been working here, my salary, even before month end, I received my salary. I'm very, very happy. If you look around these Edo states, especially in this upper now, this area, I know how this area was before, you know. It's because of the work of Obaseki, this estate, Immortal Garden Estate now, you can come around this area, you cannot be afraid of anything because of this Immortal Garden Estate here. Obaseki have given us securities everywhere. Now, we are proud of him.
You're welcome back to the program. Agbukor,
yes.
You see, a lot of states are coming hard on the sinking of boreholes. What is the view of the Edo State government?
Well, there's no denying the fact that the sinking of incessant borehole is not too good for the climate or for the earth crust. But it's just that we are very lucky in this part of the world
Okay.
that we are not easily prone to earthquake and all other natural disasters of such. Now, we have a matching order as a ministry that
Which of the ministries?
as a ministry of water resources,
Thank you.
as a ministry, that we must begin to regulate the activities of these drillers. But the initial thing was that you cannot ask people to stop drilling private boreholes when you have not done something substantial as an alternative for the people. But however, we're also coming up with a draft policy now, which I'll just say a little thing because it has not been approved by the Etsako. We'll find a way to moderate it, because you discover that in a typical street where you have about 80 houses, and that 80 houses you have 80 private boreholes. Ordinarily, 2 or 3, at most 5 boreholes would have been able to serve the entire street as it were. But because our people have this attitude of individual ownership, nobody wants to share. But I know, and this is one of the reasons why I am believing God, I'm trusting God, that Mr. Governor, Obaseki, will return for a second time, so that by the time we do something with these public facilities, that is the water scheme, public water scheme, then we now know that the people have alternative. Then we can now put in place certain regulations that we reduce this attitude of incessant bore. Because again, come to think of it, how safe, how portable is the water that these private people are even enjoying? How many of them have a treatment facility attached to their borehole? It's not that we are fortunate, like I said, that Edo State have one of the purest water. Otherwise, it would have been a different story altogether. So, but eventually, by the grace of God, during the second tenure of Mr. Governor, when the public taps are back again functioning, then we can be a little bit strict in enforcing certain laws as it relates to private boreholes.
So what programs do you have that are geared towards the exploration of the waterways in Edo State?
First and foremost, the best kind of water that that would have been the best option, as it were, would have been the one we are able to develop from maybe the dams. If we are able to dam maybe any of our streams or any of our rivers, would have been the best option. But again, too, it is extremely expensive in nature.
But we have dams that are moribund.
Yes, yes. Of course, like we have a Wuhimi.
Ojirami Dam.
We have Ojirami Dam is not moribund. It's not, because we still have a facility in Gara there, under Ojirami, that is still functional, but not to full capacity. I agree with you, not to full capacity, but it's still the people within the immediate vicinity of that water facility, they do still enjoy it.
Within that small community.
Yes. Now, you know, a lot of things happened that I met on ground for the past administration. I wouldn't want to go there, that caused some of these problems.
Was that why you sighed?
Yes, because it's so sad that, look at the Ikoba Dam.
Yeah.
The Ikoba Dam. That was something that is over 20 years. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was during the time of our the late former governor, Osama Pomudia, that project came up. If you go there, you will see chemicals that were bought by previous administration that we never used one day. Now, the first question that came to my mind, that agitated my mind, was, when the facility was not working, why did they need to spend so much money buying those chemicals? And they just wasted.
Are you talking about the immediate past administration?
Yes. Yes. It's so painful. And if you look at that dam as it is today now, it has to take a holistic plan to get it back to light. And it's one of the things I said, I'm praying that Mr. Governor comes back. And I thank God that the people are behind him, and he will return by the grace of the Almighty God, so that he can actually now focus on such a gigantic water scheme. Because with what we have there, ordinary what we have in the Ikoba Dam, at the risk of standing modest, over 30% of the populace of Benin would have been covered with potable water.
Without depending on boreholes?
At all. That's why I said that is the next level. That is where we are going to. As the day is moving forward, we'll move towards that direction as well. A time will come in this state where people will be discouraged in seeking their own private and individual borehole, because it will be cheaper and more portable to go and connect from the public tap. Because the whole idea is not just to have public tap, but the public facility will be so functional, will be so efficient and so effective that, like in other advanced countries, you can go connect water to your own house, pay your bill, and you get water uninterrupted.
So what key interventions from your ministry should make people re-elect the governor for a second term?
Okay. First and foremost, like I told you a while ago, I'm very sure these 5 local governments I mentioned, where we already have this water, we took as our pilot scheme.
You want to mention them again?
Yes.
Yes,
Orion,
yes.
Rumode, Ovia Southwest, Etsako West, Onwa West. That's outside the roaming book. Yeah. Within these 5 local governments, we have over 100
Ovia what?
Ovia Southwest.
Okay, okay. Orion 1.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
Okay.
Etsako West, Onwa West.
And Onwa West.
Yes.
Okay.
With these people, I know that you will see that's why we are praying for free and fair election. You will see the result that will come from this area. In demonstration of their appreciation of what Mr. Governor have done to them on the water sector area. Then, like I told you also, the plan now is to scale it upwards. You cannot go back now and be taking off. We now want to scale it upwards and cover the other local government. The problem is that there is no local government that does not have a borehole dotted around the landscape of that particular local government. But how many of them are functioning? And the reason why most of them are not functioning is because there's no sustainability plan. And that is what Mr. Governor does not want. It may interest you to know that before Mr. Governor even approved to declare a state of emergency on water, sanitation, and hygiene, he told me before he signs that I must bring all the 18 local governments together. They must key into the program, because it's not one governor who believes in just launch anything and go and sleep the next day. No, it must be functional and it must be effective. So, and that is where that whole idea comes from.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll take our last break now. We'll come back, we'll see what our pages are saying. Stay with us.
If we not be Godwin, yo, we not go vote any of that person, yo.
My good people of Etsako, election time don't reach again. Make we shine our eyes and use our brain before we vote on September 19. No forget, say, before Governor Godwin Obaseki come, local government for Edo State die patakpata. Workers no get salary for many months, but Agbukor's them. They collect local government money, put for pocket, they marry many wives, they buy car and they build house. But God come hear our prayer and bring Obaseki come to come save Edo people, especially local government workers, from all this wickedness. That's now why we go vote for Godwin Obaseki and Philip Shaibu again for this election to continue with their good mind and their good work for Edo State. So, on election day, will be September 19, take your PVC and vote for progress and development. Vote for Godwin Obaseki and Philip Shaibu. Vote PDP. Remember, say na umbrella will be the symbol of PDP. You go gum your finger put to PDP. Power to the people. Now the executive chairman, Etsako West Local Government Council, Honorable Imonofi Inusa, bring una this message.
Oga, make you carry your ticket go.
Our MOU governor don't bring another Oyoyo project come. This time our correct governor Godwin Obaseki don't join hand with other people when sabi work, and them don't bring Edo refinery come for our state. With the same MOU when Oyibo they call Memorandum of Understanding, Edo state government don't do Edo refinery reach 80%, and the project don't already they provide job for plenty of our people. With the same MOU when some people they talk say na audio project, Governor Obaseki don't complete Immortal garden and him don't complete Osiomo power. With Edo refinery and all the other projects company when our governor don't bring correct job don't dey yafu for Edo state. Them not they call us civil service state again, as Edo don't turn one of the best states for Nigeria. If we want to make all this MOU wonder continue, make we use our voters cards take choose better thing when September 19 reach. Make we remember to turn print for the umbrella party. Make we vote for PDP. Make we vote for Godwin Obaseki and Philip Shaibu, so that them go continue to do better thing for Edo people.
You're welcome back to the last segment. Now, Agbukor, we are going to our page now to see what the viewers are saying. It could be a comment, it could be a question, or it could even be a jab. Okay, this one is coming from Omohua Frederick Michael. He says, I must commend the government of Governor Obaseki in the area of provision of good and portable drinking water for the people of Edo Central with the Uromi Ugboha Water Scheme project, which has improved water supply in the zone and, of course, Edo State in general. However, what are the plans of the state government going forward in the area of redeveloping dams and irrigation facilities for commercial agriculture purposes, using the abundant water resources of the state to boost agricultural production and create employment for the people?
Thank you very much. That's a very good one.
Yes.
Now, if we be listening to Mr. Governor's campaigns, one thing that comes out is that his administration in the second term will be agriculturally based. Okay. Because for him, and I think the same goes with all of us, with what has happened with this COVID-19, where we discovered that at a point, people were looking for who to buy their oil in the sea. We had told some ship were now roaming up and down looking for how to offload their oil freely. It is very clear that we can no longer depend on federal allocation, which for now is basically about oil. So Mr. Governor's agenda purely is to go on agriculture product on a large scale. And the best way to do that, so that you can have food production all season, is to maximize the use of our various waterways, all the dams we have, turn them into irrigation, connect irrigation from it, so that all through season, in and out of season, in most northern states, that's what is happening. In most of the northern states, you discover that every time you get fresh corn, get fresh vegetable, that is the product of irrigation. So, and we are so blessed that in Edo State, especially when we have a lot of these water dams, we have them at our disposal. So I'm very sure that when Mr. Governor is talking about agriculture as a focus in the next, in his second term, you can be assured that converting our waterways, our dam, into irrigation system to sustain the production of food all round season would be a cardinal point. So with that, you can be assured that even at this point, when we have the government encouraging young men to go into agriculture, just give us a land, they will give you money to cultivate it, give you the seedlings, even buy the product from you. So that irrigation is a way to go, and it is the focus of the government.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, now we'll take a comment and then we'll round up the program. This one is coming from Mario Black Shakinki. He said, if it's only the pension money, if it's only for the pension money, we need him back. Thank you for that comment. All right, one of our regular viewers, that is Stella Grace Cole. I want to believe that during the course of this program, of course, your question was answered. But if not, the commissioner definitely will engage some of the viewers on the page later on in the day and probably chat with you for a couple of minutes. So with that, we would like to say a big thank you to Honorable Moses Agbukor, the Commissioner for Water Resources in Edo State, who is a happily married man with children. Thank you so very much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
So on behalf of everybody that has contributed to making this program a success, for those of us that work at the background, and of course for those that sent in their comments and those that called, even if it wasn't really connected, let me take a quote from the Kenyan freedom fighter, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. He says, "Not yet Uhuru. My name is Habiba, or Yege, or Yarekwa. Good evening."
Obaseki na umbrella, Obaseki na PDP we dey. Obaseki no be blue. Obaseki na umbrella, Obaseki na umbrella, Obaseki na PDP, Obaseki na PDP. The symbol is umbrella, PDP we dey. Obaseki no be blue, Obaseki no be blue. Oya, Obaseki shaibu. Them plenty achievements, yo. Like them bring Edo best. Many renovation. Everybody they happy for Edo. They say Obaseki na correct governor.